Put on a Ike mini flip.
It's a little out of that. Good one on a frog.
Oh my gosh, look how big his mouth is. To be a 4-pounder, if that thing had a gut, that's like a 5 or a 6.
All right, guys, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to One Objective tonight. Guys, we got a really good show lined up for y'all. And first off, I'm hoping that everything goes smoothly. Finally got my internet fixed. Excited about that. It has been a whirlwind with that, trying different things and blah, 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 blah. You all know the things of, their techs want to try this and that. So finally, I think I got everything right. If not, then it's just computer and I'm going to sling it through the wall. But I think we're good. I think everything's all right. So, but no, we got a really good show lined up for you guys. We're going to be talking about the business of bass fishing. Everybody wants to talk about, just, going out catching fish or wanting to go pro or wanting to at least go to that semi-pro level or just travel like me and James did and Craig and all these guys did with just traveling and fishing the kayak side of things. I mean, it's a lot of money to do this stuff. It's a lot of expense. It's a lot of equipment needed. But I don't think some people quite understand what's all involved with the work and to get these sponsors, to maintain these sponsors, but also the difference between pro staff and sponsorship. I think that is such a dark area for people to really talk about. Like everybody's like, yeah, I'm sponsored. And I'm like, oh, really? Who with? And what kind of deal you got? Well, I get 15% off. Well, there's got to be more to the deal, because that to me, that's just a pro staff deal. So, but we're going to have Craig. He's going to come on. He's going to talk about that. He was on our show we did with Robert Brown and them for the championship that they won. But Craig is a team manager for One Objective. He also is a team manager for Rogue Fishing. And so he kind of gets it. He understands what's involved with, getting and maintaining, but also he's always looking for the next person to come on the team that could take that team to the next level and help that company, get more sales and all that. And it's a lot to it because that's why we finally had to get somebody like Craig to help with it, because it's just so much to maintain. So, but we're going to be getting Craig on here in just a little bit. First off, I want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank Waterland Eyewear. Super great company to work with. I have enjoyed working with them guys. They're a small group of people. They're not like a big corporate company. And it's just so nice that if you got any issues with anything, you can reach out to them and talk to them. And that's just not with us. That is with their customer service as well. If you have any issues with their sunglasses or any of that stuff. So we'll have a link down below, whether you're on iTunes or you're watching. If you go, it won't be there now, but when you come back and watch it, we'll have a link at the bottom on how to save yourself 15% on Waterland Eyewear. Also, make sure you go check out Missile Baits. Phenomenal soft plastics. They got everything you need, from jigs to soft plastics to cover any of the bases you need, whether it be for trailers, whether it be for Carolina rigging, whether it be for flipping, different kinds of jigs, swim jigs, all that. So make sure you go check out Missile Baits. They're a big support of ours. They've been with us basically since day one. John Cruz and them are phenomenal people. And like I said, they're another small business I love working with. And also check out Amped Outdoors. We've been running their stuff for a while now, and I have not had no issues at all, really. I mean, and we're a dealer for them as well. And we see a lot of them go through and very rare do we have any issues. And if there is an issue, it's taken care of swiftly, because that's how they run their business there. They're great people. And I really love working with Amped Outdoors. So make sure you go check them out, because all these sponsors, they support our channel. So let's go support them guys. So got a few people joining in. I appreciate everybody coming in. Robert, what's going on? Clint says the PWR 129 y'all did is looking good. Man, I really appreciate that. And then Casey Watson, what's going on, man? Appreciate y'all joining us. I know it's been a while. It's been a long while since we've done these live. So I'm hoping that this is something that we can kind of carry on and start getting on a more regular basis. Sundays, I thought were going to be the better days for me, especially with Chris helping out. But I don't know. I still plan on doing Sundays, but it's just a lot of times, man, it's so much family stuff going on now. My kids getting older and all that, and getting things ready for school or the work week prior, and just gets kind of difficult sometimes. So I don't know. I don't know how our scheduling is going to go with that, but we're definitely going to keep trying to do these at least once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on the guests and what we got going on. So, but let's go ahead. Let's get Craig on, and let's go ahead and dive into the business side of fishing. What's going on, Craig? How you doing tonight, man?
What's up, Josh? How you been? How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on. I know we've been trying to schedule this, and I'm like, man, my internet ain't doing right. My internet ain't doing right, and we just kind of keep pushing it back. But today I got it right, I think. So I'm just glad that you held out and you were able to finally get on here and let's talk about this thing.
Heck yeah, man.
So, Craig, you've been running Rogue for a little while with their pro staff and helping, with sponsoring other tournament series, helping him out, just getting his brand out there, getting his name out there, and getting involved with the kayak series. And then that's what we're kind of doing with you is just helping us find good people to get on our team. And I think right now you've done a really good job. We got some really great people that are on our team that really help push the brand. But tonight I want to really talk about what people like you look for when it comes to trying to find that right person. But I also want to go in and talk about, before we get into all of that, first is the difference between pro staff and sponsorship, because that seems like it's wishy-washy for some people.
That's an easy one. Sponsorship, you get paid. You get paid to fish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your MLF guys, your Elite Series guys. Those guys get paid to fish. All those little stamps on their shirts, those they may not. I've heard some of those guys don't even use some of that stuff. They just get paid to be on that shirt. Those guys see a lot of TV time, and a lot of times you don't even hear them talk about everybody. But the sponsorship, you're paid, and a lot of those guys are paid a lot of money. So, but on the kayak fishing side, there's only a handful of people that I know of that are pro and that are paid to fish in a kayak. Most of us, Josh, myself, Robert, who we just said hello to, a lot of this stuff, we're just pro staff, and that doesn't mean that we're pros. It means we're promotional.
Yes.
We push product. We push Yak Attack. We push One Objective. We push Raymarine. The people that help us, we push them, and that's what you got to do. I am not personally a crazy tournament angler like a Christine Fisher or I mean, there's so many names out there.
Yeah, Russ Snyder's, all of them.
Russ Snyder, yeah, those guys. A lot of those guys are paid, and gals. Excuse me, gals. They're paid to do it. 99.8% of us out there kayak fishing are not paid to do it.
Yeah.
But as a pro staff person, when you get into, you get 15, 20, 40, 50% off, look at that as a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get something, say something's $200 and you get 50% off of it, you just got paid $100 to rep that product.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single time. So you have to look at these pro staff deals as a paycheck.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to buy whatever the discount is. You don't have to pay it. I have little deals that are like that are 20% off. I have deals that are better than that.
Yeah.
But sponsorship is completely different than pro staff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what people don't understand too, I think, is also along with the sponsorship deal is sometimes it's not always $1. It's not a check written to you as it is a product value, like,
correct.
For instance, this is a, for instance, it's just not a true deal, but like Amped Outdoors, for instance, let's say they give us X amount of batteries, to run in whatever, and they give them to you. Well, I mean, some of that stuff can be valued at $2,000 or $3,000, so it just depends on, your value and what you feel like you are to get that dollar amount. You know what I mean? And what you bring to the table that you think is worth that amount. You know, sometimes they might just say, hey, we're going to give you one battery to run your graph for the year, you know, and stuff like that's big, because now that's one thing that you don't have to buy for your kayak to get rigged out. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that saves you that much more money that you could put towards entry fees or anything like that. So that's just stuff a lot of people need to understand. You know, I feel like I have talked before we had you on, Craig, and I have talked to people like this before too, and they're like, hey, I'd like to come on. I'm like, okay, what, you know, I'll send you over to Craig, but what are you talking? What are you thinking? And, you know, they're like, well, I'd really like to get about $1,500 for the year and then this much product. Well, the one thing I've learned about the industry right now is the industry is sucked dry of money. Like the biggest thing is product right now. It's easier for a company to load you up with $1,500 value worth of product than it is for them to give you $1,500. You know, because now what they can do is, okay, they just sent you all this product. Now you can shoot video. Now you can do pictures, you can do whatever. And now that's worth more to them than them just writing you a check and you not doing anything with it, you know, to promote.
Correct. And, you know, companies look more towards that side of it than necessarily the tournament fishing side.
Yeah.
I was not, my first 7 years in this industry, I was not a big tournament angler. But I did do a lot of social media. And then I added to social media, and then I added to social media, and then I added more to social media. Yeah. And that's how I grew your brand. How I grew my brand was social media. That's how I got to know Josh and James at One Objective. I got to know, you know, everybody that I deal with at Yak Attack, and I've had a couple different boat sponsors, boat pro staffs. Let me rephrase that. And mine was all based and built off social media.
Yeah.
Not going out and winning the KBF or the BOS or the Bass Series. I didn't build my brand from that. Now I fish them because I enjoy them. And I did a lot more of that last year. But that's not how I built my brand over the years.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, you built your brand up Kayak Craig. Ain't that what it, or yeah, Kayak Craig. And you've built your brand up around that and just showing pictures, going out fishing, going out, just being very social active, I guess is a good word for it, you know, with social media and all that. And to me, I think nowadays is more valuable than it is somebody just goes fishes a tournament. Now you do got your, I call freaks of nature, guys like Russ Snyder's or girls like Christine Fisher that are in magazines or on other podcast shows all the time for winning or constantly in pictures holding a trophy, you know, that's a different dollar value, you know. But if you got a guy that's constantly in a top 15 or top 25, nothing's wrong with that, because that's really hard to do. I mean, it is really hard to get in those top 25, top 50 positions sometimes, depending on the event. But I think these guys and girls that go out and do social media and really push a product right now, reels and shorts are the biggest thing, you know, like shooting a full-fledged YouTube video doesn't even seem like it is that big of a deal anymore as if it is a 30-second clip, you know. And
I shot a reel the other day for all the new stuff for Yak Attack with the track packs.
Yeah.
Simple little 40-second, 60-second reel with music, a Christmas tree, and their new product. And it got 300-400 views in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Now that's not crazy, but that's the things that these companies look for and they like.
Yeah.
And that's really what you got to focus on. Like Josh said, these little videos to do that stuff.
Yeah. Joseph said, is there any particular format that businesses look into social media posts, such as followers engagement? I'm going to say, and then I'll let you, Craig, like from what my experience has been is a lot of them will look at your followers compared to your likes. You know, like, hey, you got, because there was a thing where you go buy followers on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And then they all of a sudden it's like, okay, you got 25,000 followers, but you only got 25 likes on this post, you know? I will say nowadays with algorithms the way they are, that's, for instance, like Facebook for us, it really ticks me off because we got legitimate 13,000 followers. And it went from getting 50, 60, 70 likes to one day it snapped like a light switch and it went to, sometimes you're lucky if you get 2 or 3. And that ain't just our account. That's other accounts that I talk to that have legitimate good followers, you know?
Correct.
Back in the time, it used to be if you had X amount of followers and you had this many likes, that like that's stuff that they look at, you know? But I'll let you, what were you going to say, Craig?
And is there a particular formula that businesses look at? They look at how they're tagged. So all these companies can see when you do a post and, hey, I got this brand new mount from at One Objective. They get notified when that happens. And when these businesses start seeing this on a regular basis, and then you ask them about their pro staff, they will be honest with you and tell you, hey, you need a little bit more, or hey, this is great, let's talk.
Yeah. It's definitely the one thing with the formula and social media is they want to see consistency. You know what I mean? They really want to see the consistency, and they want to see, are you willing to go out there and push a product that you firmly believe in without saying, hey, because we get it too all the time. Hey, can you sponsor me? I can look back at these people and know that I don't have nothing. They haven't fully ordered anything from me, or I don't see no videos where they've pushed anything, you know? And so that's a big thing, as well as like start pushing things. Like if you throw Shimano reels, okay, throw them, push it, you know, tag them in these posts. And I'm starting to see where we're doing some of that, and some of these companies are coming, hey man, I really like that content. We'll go to iCast, man. I love that video you did with the reel. That was cool setup, man. You know, like I really appreciate that. They start seeing that. They notice it. Yeah. So, I mean, there's things that you can do formula wise, and like a perfect fix or a perfect plan that's going to work. There is none. It's just being consistent.
There is no one. Every company looks at everything different. So
Yeah.
I look at things for staffers different for One Objective than I do for Rogue Gear Company. They're two different types of companies. So we look for different things out of each out of each type of person. I mean, we look for different things for each company.
Yeah. And each, you know, each company as well wants that different kind of person. You know what I mean? They might want that guy that's what I call I don't know, bully is a good name, but somebody that's out there and in your face. You know what I mean? Some companies look for that stuff. Some companies shy away from that stuff. They don't want to push somebody that's full of drama, you know?
Right.
And that's something a lot of people, man, social media is horrible about, is going on there and bashing other companies or that you're not a part of, or bashing something that you're using of this company, you know, saying it's junk, blah, blah, blah. You need to talk to the company before you do anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do, because these companies go out and they look at your social media.
Oh,
I look at people's social media, and if I see that somebody does good content, but I see that there's kind of a pattern of, you know, somebody beating up somebody, they're not for my teams.
yeah.
I won't, that's drama. And I don't need that kind of drama falling on to the businesses that I'm representing.
Yes. Roy says sometimes companies ignore you. I do believe sometimes.
They do.
I think they do. Or is it they don't? Is it they purposely ignore you, or is it they get so many tags and so many like letters or Facebook messages or
Oh,
whatever.
they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I do a lot with Yak Attack. Everybody knows I do a lot with Yak Attack.
Yeah.
They probably get 150 to 200 applications a month.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't
crazy.
support that. So, I mean, it's not that you're getting ignored. They just can't see them all.
Yeah.
They have one guy that runs the pro staff just like me. That guy can't look at all that stuff by himself.
No. And
so you got to set yourself aside.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? You got to set yourself aside from everybody else and say, this is what I can do for you. Show them what you can do without asking them for anything. That's going to grow you as a brand, and that's going to lead you into bigger and better things.
Yes. Robert said, I think it's a bit of both. Some ignore you and some just can't keep up with the number of apps, like we were just saying. Yeah. You're right. I think, and also something else a lot of people don't understand, companies like Berkeley, Sunline, Missile Baits, a lot of these companies are now switching over to a marketing company like that does the marketing for them. Now, some of them, for instance, like Missile Baits, they still deal with a lot of their pro staff guys as well, but also a lot of the pro staff stuff that's going to be coming through is going to be going through some of these marketing companies.
Yeah, I'm on Raymarine. I deal with a marketing company through them. Now, I do have a direct contact at Raymarine, but when somebody comes on, you get sent to a marketing website. You have to fill out an app, basically turn a resume in, and then that's how it goes. But you got to be patient with that stuff. It doesn't happen in 24 hours, 36 hours. Heck, it might not happen for 6 months.
Yeah. It's it can be tough. Some of these deals that we have worked out have been year deals. I mean, literally year. Did you get my message?
I understand. Tapping the desk.
Yeah, look, I'm fidgety too, so sometimes I do that, and I have to catch myself. I'm back and forth with Craig because I can hear it. It sounds like beating a drum sometimes.
Yeah, I have a pretty decent mic, so I hear it.
Yeah. But yeah, so some of these deals take a year to 2 years to work out because they might have a contract with a guy that has for 2-year contract. They know that his stuff's about to end. They might not like what he's doing, or he might have already put in his time and say, hey, I'm going to be coming off of here at the end of my 2 years. So they're like, hey, I can't get you in until this guy's gone. Some of them have a cap. They might have a cap of 50 anglers, and that's it. And some of these deals are, I mean, we've talked to a couple of companies. Like, we've really tried to legitimately get on some of these companies, and they're like, hey, we're already capped out. If something comes open, we'll keep you in mind. Now, how many other people that's ahead of me that they've told that to, So I think that's the hardest thing for people to understand is that this industry does not come easy and it does not come quick. You might get some of them jobs, some of them deals that just work out. The stars align and the planets align and everything's just right, but it's very rare that it happens like that.
Yeah, my deal with Dakota Lithium took almost 11 months from when I started talking to when actually everything happened. Some of these things take a long, long time to get done. You just have to be patient and keep pushing it. No one's ignoring you. Yeah. We want to see what you can offer us before we offer you.
That's right.
Because it's a thing. This is a business. The pro staff world is a business for the business. So.
Yeah. Many people don't understand the work a company has to go through just to give out contracts. Yeah, it's a big deal. Like, we just signed on a pro staffer today. You want to go ahead and announce that? We announced it on our team, but
yeah, we brought on one of Tennessee's baddest hammers, Paris Edwards, onto the team today. That dude's a hammer. I think 3 years, if I read it right, is 3 years in a row he's been Angler of the Year in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's a hammer. It took a little while to get that done, but we got it done.
Yeah. And like I say, we've talked about it. We've had other guys that we've talked to I don't want to go into contracts or deals that we've made with people, but like some of the stuff takes a little while to work out. It takes meetings. It takes, and like I say, it takes a little while to get it done. So the biggest thing to understand is keep grinding, keep pushing. If you truly want to be on that company's pro staff and work for that company, work for them now without getting paid and without getting the discount, and keep working, because the hard work does pay off. That's one thing. The fishing industry, a lot of people don't understand. When we talk to these anglers all the time, and we always talk about time on the water. Why are you so good? If you look at about 9 times out of 10, all of them are putting so much time on the water, way more than the average guy. And that's why they're doing good. It's the same thing here. You got to be able to put the time in on the water, but while you're out there on that water, you got to remember to take pictures. You got to remember to shoot that, have that camera set up. You don't have to do YouTube all the time. You just got to be able to have that camera set up so you can get some shorts done or get little clips done. Another guy that I respect a lot in that side of social media is Jonathan Graham. I don't know if you guys follow him or not. Jonathan Graham Fishing. He's a really good fisherman, kayaking and bass boats. To be honest with you, I don't know if he does much with YouTube. I don't know, but he does a lot with shorts on Facebook. And he's always posting. Every time he's out there, he's posting. That is a guy.
Another name out there the same way. It's Robert Brown. He's always just throwing little stuff out there, little teasers of things. And it's stuff that just grabs your attention.
Yep, exactly. Robert says also, let me throw it up here. Also think you shouldn't go out looking just to stack discounts because it'll show in the end and you're involved in the wrong reasons. I recently resigned from a sponsor because I didn't like the changes that were made, and I was with them because I believed in them. Yeah. You look at
we like Robert just did. We've all made those decisions that have been doing this. I did it. I've done it twice.
Yeah.
I've left companies, and I believed in both companies. Like Robert, I left the first one for kind of the same reason he did. But the second one, I just decided that I wanted to try something different. And I made a decision to make a change.
Yeah. And that's, you gotta, I've talked with several pros before, David Dudley and all of them, before One Objective was even a thought, and I at the time, I really wanted to be a pro fisherman. I really did. I wanted to work hard. I wanted to do it. Social media was not a big thing then, it wasn't big. We didn't have phones to carry around that much. And, it was a flip phone. You didn't have all that. So, but I talked with David Dudley and all of them, and it was, only represent products that you fully believe in. Don't represent something that you don't believe in, because what's going to happen is, let's say you get on with, I'm just going to name jig company off because there's so many jig companies out there. Say you get on with jig company A. Well, you've always been throwing jig company C. Always. You loved them. Jig company A uses a different hook. They use a different skirt material. They use different colors. You don't like, their customer service sucks. People's always complaining about it. So you're going to get irritated when you're out there pushing it, because the people go like, well, man, I tried them and I didn't like them. I lost fish, or they hung up real bad or whatever. But, jig company C, that jig's right. You know what I mean? You really should have been pushing that jig, because you could have had a chance to get on a company that you fully believed in. And it makes it that much easier to represent them and build a relationship with them when you truly believe in the product that they have.
Correct.
So
if you believe in it and you own it, it's going to get you a long way in this industry.
Yeah.
A long, long, long way. So just keep that in mind when you're looking. Find the things that you love on your boat that you can't live without on your boat, and just start repping them.
Yeah.
It may not come to fruition right now, but it will.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
Nick is right. You got to be consistent with this stuff.
Yeah.
And Nick is really consistent. Nick is on our road team. And he's really, really consistent about what he puts out there.
Yeah.
If we could get him into a motor, hint, hint, hint. The dude does some really good stuff with pictures. I like Nick. Nick does some cool stuff.
Yeah. Cam Steele's got a good one right here. Even the best salesmen have trouble selling something they don't believe in. Exactly right. Go on to a used car lot or even a new car lot. Go on a brand new car lot. Do your research on a vehicle and then go in and ask that salesman about that car. If he can't answer the questions that you have for it, 9 times out of 10, I don't even want to buy it from him. You know what I mean? If he's, well, I don't know. I can't stand that. That bugs me. So, yeah, you gotta know, because these questions are going to come. You know what I mean? Like you might do a video. Let's say I do a video about a D-bomb, and they're going to be like, hey, do they got this color? Well, you better know what colors they got. I'm not saying you got to have every single color engraved in your head, but like you need to know, hey, they got something similar, you know? Or if they don't, especially if you're messaging, well, you better go look it up. And if you don't know, you better go look it up real quick. Instead of saying, I don't know, you better go look it up and then answer that question. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you got to do your research. And when you get on with these teams, you need to learn the brand. You need to learn the product.
And there's different levels to this stuff. You've got a sponsor level, you've got a pro staff level, you got a brand ambassador level. You know, I have brand ambassador with Kitech.
Yeah.
I'm not on their pro staff. I'm not sponsored by them, but I'm a brand ambassador for them. And if you ask anybody that knows me, what do I throw, Josh?
Kitech, you throw chatterbaits.
Yeah, I do.
Bag of that chatterbait.
Yep.
I mean, you can throw it. I mean, you throw Kitechs everywhere, whether you're just throwing it on a jig head or you're throwing it on a trailer.
Yeah. Texas rig. And yeah, just throw it with that on it. So
yeah.
I mean, like the way they work. So I use them and I tell everybody about them. And some people like them and some people don't.
Yeah. Roy says, be approachable. Ignorance is a brand killer. Sorry, it was going up so fast, so I kept skipping over it. Tyler says, let's pull this one up. I laugh at Boat Pros. They have a relationship with a company for 5 years, claim it's the best, leaves said company for a competitor. Next day is best. My opinion, devalues their brand. And I believe in that. I believe you, and I'm 100% on your side with that, but I also see where some of them are at too, because they do it for a living. And I used to be really irritated with it until here recently, when the industry has gone to crap and the money's not there. And some of these companies are doing some of these pros dirty. And I'm not going to name brands. I don't, you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm not here to bash no company.
I mean, you can go back and look at that Milliken video. He nailed it.
You go back and watch Milliken's video. It's actually a really eye-opening video in layman, in our terms, us blue collar redneck fisherman terms. It's a really good video. But you know, some of these guys, man, are getting, some of these companies, I understand they're downsizing. They don't have the money. You know what I mean? So they're cutting out some of these guys that were making $5,000 and $10,000 a year. And it's really hard for them to say, okay, well, you know, can you at least give me a boat or something? You know what I mean? So I can go run. But, you know, you talk about in the boat side, I'm seeing it a lot in the kayak side too, man. I'm seeing these guys have new sponsors every year, switching boats every year. No, nothing, not talking about you, Craig. You were Bonafide so long, you were New Canoe for a while. Now you're just kind of doing your thing. You know what I mean? You just want to run what you want to run. And I understand that. And you have your reasons, but like say, it's happening a lot too. I've seen a lot of guys just go.
I mean, we're not in the heyday of COVID anymore. I mean, and as bad as COVID was, that was the heyday of kayak fishing.
Yeah, it was.
Well, and I mean, business exploded, and now it's kind of where it was pre-pandemic. That term pre-pandemic, we're back to there again, where it's just kind of a level thing. There's not a lot of people running into the kayak fishing world or the boat fishing world like they were.
Yeah, absolutely. This one says, last thing about joining a team or representing one is just be yourself and be honest. Some companies sell things you don't use or different opinions. It's okay to be honest. And you're right. Well, you know, Craig will tell you, I do not. It is irritating when you hear something's wrong with your product, but you also got to be open-minded to hear that is something wrong with your product, because you want to always continuously try to what's the word I'm looking for? Redesign your product, I guess, or make your product better. Not say redesign, but always make it better. Try to find flaws in it. Because me and James can go put a mount on a boat, and we think we got the best thing since sliced bread. But then Craig can get him like, man, I did this and it didn't work. Like it didn't go.
Yeah, we absolutely did some redesign on the Unlimited when I had it.
Yeah.
I mean, things just didn't work the way they needed to work, and there was a little redesign in it. And that's okay.
Yeah. And and as a pro staffer or sponsor, you've got to be able to go in and say, hey, this isn't working. I've broke, let's say, a rod company. Man, I keep breaking rods. This isn't working. What is wrong with these rods? You got to be able to be open-minded about that. We had a company that we were on with a while back. Same thing was happening. I mean, when you're snapping rods in a video and then you're trying to sell the rod, you know what I mean? A lot of these guys work, several weeks in a row to save up enough money to buy one rod. I don't want to push a rod to them that's going to snap. And then they're going to be like, man, you told me these rods are great. Well, they used to be, but now they're breaking. So I don't, that's a lot of the stuff that can be aggravating. But like I say, you also want to make sure you're pushing the right stuff and pushing something you believe in and being yourself.
Stuff you believe in. Well, Josh knows this. I push St. Croix rods. I love their rods, but I know people that don't like their rods.
Yeah.
I made a big switch in reels and moved to Shimano. And it was probably one of the better moves that I made. And I'm not sponsored by either one of those. I'm not pro staff for either one of those, but I found something that I liked better than what I was doing before. So I talk about it.
They are pretty nice, aren't they?
There, yeah. You see the stack that's sitting right here, when you're talking. I don't know, what's there? 15, no, there's 10 or 12, 14 rods sitting there, and that's $14,000 worth of rods and reels.
It makes you sick sometimes, don't it?
So I mean, no one kids each other. This is an expensive sport. So if you can find a way into a company, do it. It's an expensive sport. I mean,
yeah, you need all the help you can get, and it's tough. You need the support you can get, but it's one of them things too. Don't go out there and not put no results on the board, whether it's a tournament, whether it's social media, your YouTube, you got to get it going. And that's the biggest thing that I see. And we get stuff from guys that are like, hey man, I just started a YouTube. I only got 150 likes. 50 followers. But if I can go in there and see, man, this guy's posting a video every week, he's trying, because I know how hard it is to build a YouTube channel from scratch and not having a lot of content or not having followers. It's tough, man. It is really tough. And
even like for Josh, it's even harder because he's got to run a business, take care of his family, and still grow a following. And that's where he relies on his pro staff. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I say, we rely on them guys. We got a great group of guys and girls on our team that I'm always what I expect out of them. This is what I expect to be on one objectives team. And this is something I want to hammer down on a little bit harder this year is just getting us content. I'm not asking for a lot. I just want, hey, go out on that lake and catch a fish and make sure you got our bow mount or a rear mount or an accessory or something in that picture. I want to be able to have content to share.
And use the tag get bow mounted.
Yeah. Hashtag get bow mounted. If you got a bow mount on your kayak, put hashtag get bow mounted on it. We're starting a thing. But yeah, and that's what I expect out of them. Reels are great. I do like that. But it's just nice having pictures too, because that's stuff that you can share in a story really easy. I can share all over the place, and you can actually tag products in it. You can tag it in reels too, but I think it's just easier with a visual picture that's sitting right there. So that's a big thing, man, is when you do get on these teams, kind of following the lines of keeping them, is making sure you're always out there getting content.
Correct.
Constantly getting content. Man, if you're out there fishing, say it's practice day, you think you're on something, or, you're really sucking it up, one of the two. best thing to do is set an alarm at some point in the day, saying like 12:30 when time is getting kind of slow with fishing, and say, look, 12:30, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take probably 10 minutes and take 15 pictures, 10 pictures, 5 pictures, whatever, and that'll be that'll be your stuff for the week, or that'll be something that another company can share for a week,
I mean, it's simple. Like Josh says, you're in a CPR tournament. You catch a fish. A lot of people will grab that fish. They'll selfie themselves and they'll shoot a picture. Grab the stuff that's behind you that's branded.
Yeah.
And tag them in that brand. I don't have a relationship with Kayak Cushion. All my pictures have a one objective kayak cushion in it.
Craig's beating the drum again.
Yeah, I know. But just pick stuff out like that.
Yeah.
It goes a long, long way.
Here's a good one. Clint says, that's my problem. I have no social media and don't even know the first thing about creating the reels and shorts, what's and whatnots. LOL. This is why our YouTube channel got started. I'm big on going on YouTube and learning things. So honestly, little history about One Objective. The person that taught himself how to run a CNC is James. He learned everything he needed to learn by teaching himself. You know what I mean? Yes, he had a couple of friends that were engineers that showed him little tricks of doing certain things, of designing, but James is really smart with designing and woodworking and all that stuff. He's done it for many years, and he's taught himself with that. And for me, running a website, I didn't have nobody build a website for us. I built it myself. You know how I did it? I went on YouTube and I learned how to do this stuff, And the same thing with understanding the content and the algorithms of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all that. I just watched YouTube and I read books. I mean, look, I'm not a big reader, but when it comes to that stuff, I'll read a book, That's my biggest thing. But all of them, every single one of them, the first thing they say is just do it. Just start it. Just go out there, get you a name like Craig's got, Kayak Craig. You don't even have to have a creative name if you don't want it. Just put your name, but just remember that's your brand now. You're building yourself. Look at it as a business for yourself. Whether your name is Jimmy Bob, Jimmy Bob, JB, you could do your initials, JB. That's your brand now,
My Instagram is Kayak Craig Fishing. My TikTok is Kayak Craig Fishing. I have Kayak Craig Fishing on Facebook. I mean, that's just kind of how you do it. I used to have YouTube, then it got hacked.
Yeah.
That ended up being a problem, but yeah, the reels, I mean, what was his name? Clint?
Yeah.
I'll be 55 in 4 months.
Good God.
And yeah, I know I'm old. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Josh. But if I can do all this social media stuff, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can.
You just got to do it.
You just got to do it.
And just remember the biggest thing with social media is once a day. They recommend 2 and 3 times a day to really grow it. But man, that is really tough. Even for a company like us, to do 3 a day can be really tough. So I recommend 1 a day at the same time every day. Just think, a lot of people get on their phone at lunchtime. You know what I mean? You're going to eat lunch. You don't listen to nobody else talking. You just want time to yourself. So you're on social media. Post at lunchtime. That's easy. Get all your content the day before. Post at lunchtime. But, and then when you're doing these, you just tag companies. It's so simple. They got a spot right there. You can put an @ sign or someone just say tag a company, whatever, and just do it, man. And they'll start seeing it. It might take a year or 2, but if you really want to grow your brand, which is yourself, and to obtain a pro staff deal, just always remember, for one, don't sell yourself short in this industry, but be realistic with yourself as well. Don't go in and think because you got 1,500 followers that you should be getting some astronomical deal that somebody that's got 25,000 or 100,000 followers. You know what I mean? Like, be real with yourself. Don't short yourself, but be real with yourself as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally at a couple thousand on Facebook and over 10 on Instagram.
Yeah.
Wow, Craig age is a number. Yeah, mine's just a double digit with high numbers. um, it's just putting in the time, and I mean, I get it too. We all got careers. You know, I run a security department for a corporation. I mean, so my days are busy, but I try to figure out the time to get it done. Like if I get a package from somebody, I will normally take that 15 minutes and do a box opening and take some pictures. And I'm not necessarily talk about that product yet until I'm ready to do a video on it, but I will immediately open that box and go, ooh, look what I got. This is from such and such, and this stuff is cool. And it's all text, but it gets bunches of likes. And it drives those people, oh my God, they got this new product. Let's go buy it.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely, like I say, you get something new, open it up. You know, another thing, man, is big is someone like Mystery Tackle Box. You could go buy them things. Go buy it and just shoot a video short. You know what I mean? If you bought one, I know they're expensive, so I'm not saying go buy one every week because they're like $30-some. So, but like if you bought like one a month, you know what I mean? You just go to Dick's or wherever they can get them at, buy it, and just do an unboxing of it. There's content right there, you know what I mean? And then go out on the water and do content. It's a lot of people's built YouTubes just off doing that stuff right there. But sorry if y'all hear running around, my kids like running around like a wild child up there. But yeah, it's definitely worth just like say taking the time and doing it. Do it for the passion and the love that you have in it, not to go get the sponsors right off. You know what I mean? Just do it because you want to teach somebody or show somebody something. Because a lot of us, man, we're on the journey with everybody. I follow a lot of different people. You know what I mean? I'm on that journey with them through their life, their fishing trips or their hunting trips or whatever. And that's basically what people on social media for, is to get away from their life that they got going on right now at that moment and follow along. So, and that's what these people like us are looking for, is people that are willing to kind of share and go above and beyond everybody else and put in that time. So I hope we're not rambling, but that's just, it's so much to it, man. It's so much to being socially active and building yourself to get yourself built up to that level to where somebody wants to look at you.
And if you take anything tonight, the thing that you hear is social media, social media, social media, promote, promote, promote. That's all you can do, and it will build your brand.
Yeah. Tyler says, live stream content is interesting. I'd be interested in seeing conversion rates on a bait company affiliate link for Instagram focus versus, say, a TikTok streamer that streams themselves fishing. Yeah, see, man, that's a tough one, because I see so many people on there and like the follows they have, like for instance on TikTok, you know, of like just out there live fishing, you know, or guys going on starting to do this stuff with live just on YouTube where it's the whole day of fishing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how that even, like, you know, we've been doing a lot of research going back on Facebook and doing a lot more reels on Facebook, because we were focusing really hard on TikTok. And we were focusing really hard on just doing like YouTube shorts for One Objective Outdoors. But you know, like it seems like time's passed us and we got off the bandwagon with Facebook, because like say, just our conversion rate wasn't really good.
The algorithm wasn't friendly at all.
No, it was not good with Facebook. And I was getting very frustrated and down about it. And now I'm just kind of going back at it. Yeah. Sorry. Hey, Dwayne, what's going on, man? We got Jonathan Graham in here. I just seen you guys come in. What's going on, guys? Appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Hey, real quick, if you're in here and you're watching and you're liking the content, please hit that thumbs up button and share this content with your friends if you can. Just kind of get this video out there. We're starting the lives back up. I want to get as many people in here as we can. So, but anyways,
I'm not sure with the live thing. It's great for you to build your brand. Yeah. I'm not sure that your manufacturers or your suppliers of the stuff that you want are really even paying attention to that stuff.
Yeah. it's too much in a live to watch.
Too much in a live, and I mean, you get people that are hardcore and they follow you, but most of that stuff, they're there for 5-7 minutes, and we get that. But I don't know that you're going to find a brand out there that's going to watch your live, to be honest.
Yeah. It's, I think live is good for the stats. When you go to talk to the sponsor and they say, hey, I want your stats. I want your how many views are you getting a month? You know what I mean? What's your watch time hours, or what's your watch time minutes, or whatever? That stuff helps stack up. You know what I mean? If you got a 30-minute video and you got, let's just say you're on a small spectrum and you got 15 viewers that watch you all day, you know what I mean? Well, you're still getting that watch time minutes is building a lot better than it would if you did a 30-second short. You know what I mean? But if you get a 30-second short and you get 4,000 views, that helps a lot too. You know what I mean? So, but if you're just trying to do it to be brand awareness and all that, I think your shorts are going to be better than it would be doing live.
Absolutely.
But the thing about it is the live, you'll pick up the constant followers. You'll pick up the followers that love to see your content when you're live out there. Like guys on TikTok that do a lot of catfishing. There's guys on there that do a lot of catfishing because they can be interactive with the camera because they got their rods out there. They're just waiting for a bite. So they can sit there in front of that camera and they can talk. And when they get a bite, they turn around and go catch a fish. You know what I mean? And people ask a lot of questions. Well, bass fishing is a little different. You know how we are bass fishing. You really don't talk a lot. Like I noticed that, and when I film a video tournament fishing, I don't turn around and talk to that camera a lot. You know, I'm not.
Right, we don't.
You're so focused to catch that next fish that you're not very interactive with the camera. And even when, like, if me and James are fishing together, say on a 2-man event, we might joke and carry on a little bit, but we're serious, man. We're very competitive and we're focused on what we're doing. So like the live streaming for bass fishing, I think is a little more boring. You look at Bassmasters, for instance, it's kind of boring when they're staring and looking at the screen the whole time. You got Mark Zone and them talking. That's the only thing that keeps you awake. But if you had to sit there and watch them guys sit on that live, that camera the whole time and just stare down, it does kind of suck. I mean, you know, I'm a live scoper for life too, man. Right there. I love it. But
I have honestly never heard anybody standing on the front boat go, well, I'm gonna skip this green pumpkin Z-Man whatever under the dock. I mean, you're bass fishing. You're right. You're just so focused on what you need to do and the spots that you want to hit.
Yeah,
that you just can't talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want everybody knowing that mess. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, especially in a tournament, if you're doing live, you know, like I don't want to share it. Most of the time, I'm not doing good enough for anybody to worry about taking my spot, anyways. But Jonathan Graham said most of the areas don't have good signals. That's for do live, and you're right, man. Especially like John, I know you fish a lot of rivers, and you know I do too, and not as much as John does, but I do. And you don't have. I mean, sometimes you're lucky to get enough signal to put your fish up on Tourney X. You know, so some of these guys that are doing live have got cell boosters, and them things are $400 and $500 to be able to do that kind of stuff. So, but yeah. Mike Weimer says, Josh is awesome. Great American. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Let's see. What does Roy say here? Posting is like a fly on a stream. It floats up super fast. That's why you post multiple times, replacing the presentation. Exactly right. And you know, man, I'm going to tell you what, I don't know how it is on Facebook, but it does seem like it. The thing about YouTube Shorts is it goes like this, and then it goes like that. And it's like for me, you know, I watched a lot of videos. I'm like, oh, it'll do this for a little while, and then it'll take back off again. It's never done that for me, ever. I'll get up, it'll go to like 2,000 likes or 2,000 views, and then it does that.
And it just stops.
Yeah. Nobody sees it again.
It falls out of the loop.
Yeah, the algorithm is garbage when it comes to that. It's very irritating. And you know, like the same thing will happen with us on Facebook. You'll do an awesome video. I feel like it's awesome. Like you catch a nice fish and you're like pumped and jacked in it, and you get 300 views. But then you do a video of backing a freaking kayak down a boat ramp and you get 5,000 views, and you're like, what the freak is that about?
Exactly.
You know? Why? But you know, the funniest one me and James we got on our TikTok, 800, and it's the first video we've had almost hit 1 million views. 800 and some odd thousand views.
Was that the Beauty Sleep one?
No, that was I wish. That one was the Ghostbuster car when he was coming back from iCast. That's their top video. A stupid video where we come by like, look at that Ghostbuster car. We post it, and I put the Ghostbuster music with it, because you have to, and then we get that on it. I'm like, what the freak, man? I do all these others ones I put time in and this and that, and they don't get the views.
You put that one together on the road coming back home.
What's it? Yeah. Yeah. Royce's Be Fat getting in a kayak for 70,000 views. Yeah. Hey, I'm a big guy too, man. I understand. Says Cam Steele says, y'all take care.
Roy is actually in my old Unlimited. So he's got lots of cool parts strapped all over that boat.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Cam. Thanks for joining us, man. But yeah, I mean, kind of getting back to it, the biggest thing to take away from this is like Craig said, is social media, and also consistency. You got to have them together. So you got to either post, try your best to post at the same time every time, and be yourself and post, build your brand and post around what you do. You know what I mean? If you're a big time fly fisherman and that's what you like to do, focus a lot on the fly fishing, whether it be tips, like little tricks on tying knots and this and that, because what that gives you the ability to do is you can talk about the line that you're using and you're pushing your sponsor that way. It gives you the ability to talk about the rod you're using and you can push sponsor that way. Shorts of just going out and catching a fish real quick, that's great, especially if they can just look at the reel and rod and tell. But most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're not telling in that video, hey, I caught this off my St. Croix rod with a Shimano reel and Seagar or Sunline and, such and such. They're not doing that. You're going to catch it. Man,
it's not natural. That's why.
Yeah, look at that beauty and put it in the water. But you do have a little how-to video here and there between those clips that gives you extra content. And the sponsors love that kind of stuff. They want to see you do something where it's solely on their product. Because let me tell you what, we're business owners. I am very greedy, and I want the time of my pro staffs, the time that they have, I want them shooting my product on a video. You know what I mean? I'm greedy. I want my stuff pushed out there. And that's just how the business is. You know what I mean? You want your product out there. You want people pushing it as much as you can, as much as they will.
And once you establish that in the industry, and you establish yourself, and they see it. I mean, I'll use an example. I was posting all the new Yak Attack track pack stuff the day it was released, because I got it early.
Yeah,
because they knew that I was going to shove it down everybody's throat.
Yeah.
And literally, that's what you do. You shove it down people's throat. Hey, this is the new. This is the cool.
Yeah.
Look at it. But as you're looking at it, you're doing look at me.
Yeah. And a good pro staff, a good sponsor, let's just say pro staff, a good company to work for is one that's willing to work with you and promote you as well as you promote them. That's something we try to take serious with one objective. And, when I got the muses sharing pictures, or sharing reels, I want to share that, because not only they're sharing our products, I want to share the video they just shared because it's promoting them as well, because I want more people going to see their stuff that they're pushing, you know what I mean? Because they're going to be pushing our stuff and other brands. So that's one thing to always think of too, to is building that relationship with the team that you're on. Is to where when you've built a good one is when they are pushing you just as much as you're pushing them. Because what it does is it pushes y'all to be better on each side.
And I'll be when you're looking at these teams and you're looking on the backside, like myself and Josh get to look at the backside of all these teams. My Road Gear Company team is a completely different team versus the One Objective team. When I bring people onto One Objective, it's family. I look at this team a little bit different, which doesn't mean it's any less with Rogue. It's a different feel here than it is at Road Gear. And it's just different. And we want to see a lot of this stuff too. There's some personality that we look for.
Yeah.
in this.
You got to be kind of twisted in the head.
To be friends with Josh and James and half the people on one objective, you're mental. And when you're the sane one like me, you get picked on all the time. Josh is laughing because he knows I'm not wrong.
Look,
I'm not even in the conversation, and they pick on me.
We can have a group chat going on, just talking random daily stupid stuff, and then it's like we're done with that conversation. They're like, "What about Craig, you old fart? He's probably in bed," you know. And then it just starts, piling on, man. And here comes the memes, and here comes the, but it's all good and fun. That's just what keeps the team going. We have a good time, and yeah, you got to have a good personality to be on the team because you just never know what's going to come out of me and James's mouth. Most of the time.
Your feelings can get hurt quick.
But it's all in good fun. It's poking. It ain't nothing too.
I'm fortunate. I live within an hour of the shop, and when I go up there and I actually do some work every once in a while. We build some parts, and we literally talk crap to each other for 6 hours.
How long does it take, Craig, for you to come through the door and something stupid said? As soon as you come to the door, what you think? How long?
It's less than 15 seconds.
Yeah, it don't take long. It's like we wait for Craig to get there, and we just keep pondering.
I tell them I'm coming. I walk in the door, and half the time I get, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And they know I'm going to be there. I'm bringing a boat.
What do you want?
What do you want?
Yeah. It's all good and fun, but that's the fun part, man. I understand there's a lot of these companies that are very corporate, you know what I mean? And it's hard to talk to a lot of people like that. But the opportunity to understand these companies and learn these companies is going to, like somebody talked about earlier, going to these trade shows and working for them in a booth, you know what I mean? And learning their personalities and actually having that one-on-one conversation with these people, because that's what keeps you on a team. Because once you get in there and you figure out, a lot of times, most of the time, you'll figure out, man, these people are just like me. You know what I mean? They got the same sense of humor. And you can work that in. And then all of a sudden, here you are in a group chat with them, just shooting the bull. And that's what keeps you on these teams. Then they look at you like, man, this guy's one of us. I love having him on a team. He does a great job for us, and he gets us. You know what I mean? So that's the stuff that you want to.
I love the fact that all these guys want to go to ICAST.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to go to ICAST, and they want to work ICAST. Well, once you work in ICAST, you're exhausted. It's 4 days of you're talking product. And yeah, you love to do it, but it's tiring. You're on your feet for 10 hours a day. You've got day 2 there where you're outside in Orlando and it's 100 degrees and ICAST is work. These trade shows are work, and you get all these guys. Yeah, we have a blast doing it, but we're exhausted when we're done.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough and it's fun. Like you say, you almost feel like mentally drained at the end of it because you've talked so much. Sometimes you talk about the same stuff.
No, we do. I mean, I went to ICAST with Yak Attack not last year, the year before, when Black Pack came out, when the new Black Pack came out. And I probably did, on day 2 outside, I probably did 10 lives in 3 hours.
Yeah. It can take
product.
Yeah, it could be tough and it could be draining. And another thing I want to touch base on with a lot of these guys that, like say, talking about ICAST or talking about trade shows and fishing. And, I know fishing's expensive, and I know in the off seasons, January, February, we're trying to work these trade shows in. I know they go through the season, but also make sure that you're not getting a deal where you're going in the hole to do these things. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, let's say you get on with ICAST. Let's say you get the opportunity to go to ICAST and they get you a badge, you get in. They're like, we're going to get you a badge, you get in. If you just want to go one time just to get the experience, that's one thing. But hotels are expensive down there at that time of the year. You're in Orlando. Depending on if you're driving or flying, it can be expensive either way, And then you got to eat out every night. And you got to eat at the show every night every day. And a freaking Chick-fil-A sandwich is like $10. Okay. Just a sandwich, just to let you know. And so that stuff gets expensive. So you want to make sure that when you're doing it, that you got a good team is when they're going to help front some of it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they pay your full way, but you don't want to go in the hole, because I'm going to tell you right now, you won't be doing pro staff stuff much longer, because one, your wife can get mad because you didn't blew all this money every
You're
year.
already mad because you already blew the money to be able to get to the pro staff level.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that it's one of them deals is like, hey, is 25%, or is this worth, like say you get, for instance, 25% off in jigs. Well, that's not a lot of money. You say it is a lot of money, but you buy a lot of jigs, but think about it. It's not a lot of money. So let's say you only buy $300 worth of jigs a year, but it's going to cost you over $1,500 to go to ICAST just to work a booth. You know what I mean? Really, you could have went and bought whatever you wanted and not have to get in there and work a booth for a company that you're going in the hole for the year. You know what I mean? Because that money you could have put towards your fishing and not even worried about it. So I understand some companies are small and they can't afford to pay all that because it's expensive to set a booth up at ICAST. But you also want to make sure you're not getting in the hole. But if you just want to help and you say, hey, man, I'm here to help you. I'm here for the company. I believe in your company. That's a whole nother deal too. You know what I mean? That's a relationship that you're building with that company. But some of these corporate companies, you just got to watch. You know what I mean? Don't put yourself in a hole to be part of a team, because then it's not worth it. It's not fun in the long run. So what's this one say? Josh was so personal when I was looking at the bow mount and the informative about amped outdoor batteries. I decided to purchase directly from Objective. We'll always appreciate the honest approach. Man, I really appreciate that, Joseph. That means a lot. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. You know what I mean? That's what I want in our pro staff. I want them to be knowledgeable. I want them to be approachable. That's what this business is. You don't want to push people away, and I see that a lot. There's guys that I'm like, man, I wouldn't mind having him on our pro staff. And then I go in and look and see him bash another company, or say this company's bad for this or this. And I don't like that stuff. I don't like it at all. So, so I want, that's another thing of being on a pro staff is you want to be able to sell a product without bashing another product.
Correct. You want to be able to leave a brand, even if you didn't leave on good terms, but you don't bash that brand on the way out because it's going to affect you later.
Exactly. And don't think these companies don't talk. They all talk.
They all talk. Kayak industry is pretty small. As big as it is, it's still pretty small.
Yeah. They all talk. So just always remember that. And, that's something I'm learning, and I get irritated with this industry as it is. It's bad enough is that brands will bash other brands to sell a product. I can't tell you how many times we've had somebody call, we talk about a product. We talk about, they'll ask me questions about it. And not once, ever, you can ask any of our customers. If I could have them on here right now, would you ever hear me say, I don't like this other company because of this, or I don't like that company because of this. Don't buy them because of this. I don't like that. That's not style of business. I won't tell you why mine's great. Or if somebody asks me about batteries, we're on it with AMP. I'm going to tell you why they're great, how their customer service is great. I'm not going to bash another battery company because I don't know them. I don't run their stuff.
Correct. I don't know anything about AMP.
Yeah.
I know a ton about Dakota.
Yeah. So, it's just one of them things that as a pro staffer, you need to understand, you need to be able to learn that product good enough that you can sell it without bashing another company. Because that goes a long ways, a super long ways. So
it does.
Well, Craig, I think, man, we have gone on, and it's been a good conversation about pro staff and sponsorship. And, the one thing we haven't really talked about, and I'm not going to go deep into this because we're over an hour now, is, the one thing about sponsorship, the difference between sponsorship and pro staff we talked about earlier. One's a promotional staff and one is getting paid, whether it's product or it's dollar value. And, is like I say, don't go into this thinking you're going to go ahead and get a dollar value right off the giddy. I don't care how good you are, how much you win and this and that. Not unless you're an elite pro where you're getting camera time, or MLF pro where you're getting camera time.
Well, I don't know. I honestly only know a handful of people that actually get paid to do this.
Yeah.
I've been a pro staffer since 2017. I
Yeah.
still don't get paid to do this stuff.
It's very few opportunities that me and James have had where we've gotten a dollar amount. It's very few. Like I could count on one hand. You know what I mean? So just remember, you're not going to go in and you're going to make $10,000. You're not going to make $200. They just go in with the mindset that you need to work the deal out. And the best thing to do is say, hey, look, I want to join your team. Give me the opportunity to represent your brand. And let's see what we do the following year. Just give me the opportunity to push your content and represent your brand. Give me a year. And sometimes it'll work out. Sometimes it won't. But if they say, hey, just put me on the pro staff, I'll just get a discount, whatever. I promise you, I will push, that's going to be your saving grace a lot of times. You go in and start saying, hey, I fish this tournament and I got this many followers and I do this right off the giddy and say, hey, can y'all sponsor me? That's not a good way to start a conversation. A lot of times I don't even click on the email once I read that. The first thing starts out like that. I don't even pay no mind to it anymore.
Push the product. Look for it later.
Yeah. Because I see
that's the key. Is just push the product. You push the product, they recognize you.
Exactly right. If you get the hashtags and the tags at oneobjectivebf.com, hashtag oneobjectivebf or get bow mounted or whatever, that's the stuff that's going to pop up on my feed. And I'm going to go in and look at it. And I'm like, oh, man, yeah, that guy's got some good stuff. Oh, man, I'm starting to see more and more of this stuff, So that's the stuff that we look for right there. Me and Craig and all that. And like I said, I see it. And I'm like, hey, Craig, keep eye on this guy. I think this is a good guy to look at, And
we just do the research. We watch it. It's never – we don't really have an application to join One Objective.
No, there is no.
I mean, we don't. There's no application.
Well, I guess there's a small contract, but there's no big corporate paperwork that you got to file and be a part of and this and that. You want to be a part of it, put in your time, show us what you can do, and then we'll get you.
Yeah, we're kind of you're invited to here. I mean, you get invited to this team. There's no application to fill out. If we feel that you're the deal, we're going to reach out to you. We're going to have that conversation. We're going to get some stuff done, and you're going to be invited to the team.
Yeah. Got a few questions, a few things going here, guys. Talking about he's never killed his amp but once, and then another guy was talking about he's done a few times. Well, look, hey guys, if you're having that kind of issues, look, I tell you, go on there, reach out to Amped. Great customer service.
Am I supposed to jump in here and push and go, well, you would probably never kill a battery if you had 135 amp hour Dakota?
No, Craig, you can't do that here. But but no, I mean, make sure you reach out to them. They can work you through. Sometimes some people don't, and I'm not saying it's you, Joe, so I'm not saying this is you 100%. I don't know your setup, but sometimes I think people put too small of a battery with the system that they're running. You know what I mean? With a trolling motor or a graph. I don't think people understand what just a regular graph don't pull a lot, but when you start adding live scope and you start using the same graph to run GoPro batteries or cell phone chargers and you start adding all this stuff up, it will start pulling. So, but
don't follow battery power. I had to say it, Josh. Like Josh and James do battery power because they're so far above what they actually need that they'll know if they ever kill a battery, they did something really, really, really wrong.
Like not charge it.
Like for a month.
Yeah. Yeah, we're overkill. I'm telling you, man. One thing I do not want to do is die on the water, whether it's a graph or whatever. It's crazy. But let's see. Let's get this one. Then we're probably going to get off here, but I just want to get as many comments on here as we can, to reach out to everybody, let everybody see their comments. But the people that follow you are interested in what you're doing and what you use. If you promote a product, they will likely use what products you are. Exactly.
And I'm gonna say this out loud. I'm gonna give credit to the Muses because they do stuff that most people just don't do.
Yeah.
They are far beyond, above, and beyond what probably 90% of what people do in the pro staff world. They do it and they kill it, and they do stuff for people that they don't even have a relationship for, just because they love the product.
Exactly. Yeah. They're good people, really good people. And they really good at social media, and they understand it. They get it. They know what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. And Jennifer's helped us a lot with just resume stuff. Like, that's also a big thing that we didn't go over, and we probably should have, but we're kind of running out of time. But just look into resumes. And if you got any questions about resumes, I don't know if Jennifer will let me do it, but reach out to Jennifer Muse. She's really good. She does a really good job on.
You didn't ask her. You just told her that's what's happening.
I just told her, Jennifer, you can call me tomorrow if you don't like it. But, but yeah. So, I mean, even if she can't do one for you because of time or work or whatever she's doing, but she can point you in the right direction. But that's a big thing, is just having a good resume to come at at a lot of these people, because they're going to ask for it. I'm going to tell you that now. Most of them are going to ask for a resume.
They are.
Want to know what your plans are, how you're going to promote them, and your social media stats and all that stuff. And she's good at helping getting that straight and configuring it for you. So,
I mean, Yak Attack is a prime example. Every year I have to lay out what my plan is for the entire year, social media wise.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it the way you say you're going to do it, you're either going to hear about it or you're not going to have a spot the next year.
Yeah, that's right.
These companies that are big, that they're pretty serious about their staff, they will thin the herd quick.
Exactly. And it don't take long. And it ain't worried about it. They're worried about the next great person that's going to push their product. So
that's right.
Well, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Craig, I'm going to let you get going here in just a second, and I'm going to wrap this show up. But man, I really appreciate you coming on tonight, talking with us. This is a show that we've been wanting to do for a while. We've talked about it for a while. And I keep saying, we'll get you on. Yeah. And then now I think now is a good time, because now we're at that time of setting up for next 2024 and you need to start getting these things right. And be honest with you, honestly, you should really start trying to get on pro staffs around June or July, starting working these deals out with them, because it could take until now or January, or if not the following year, to make it happen. So, that's just stuff that you need to keep in mind when you're trying to do this stuff. Is June or July is when they really start pushing to see who they want for the 2024 or the following year season, shall we say. So, but Craig, I do appreciate you coming on, man. It was good talking with you. I appreciate all your knowledge and all that you help us with One Objective, and then also what you do with Rogue too. That's a great company we work with as well. So, and like I say, guys, if you have any interest, and it's not guaranteed, but if you have ever any interest at being on One Objective team, like I said, we told you what we're looking for.
Just shoot me an email. You can hit me at kayakcraigfishing@gmail.com. Josh can probably put that up on the screen somewhere.
I can't right now. I can't do two things when I'm talking and type. I can't talk and type it.
But it's simple. kayakcraigfishing@gmail.com. If you have any questions, fire me an email. More than happy to answer any of your questions.
I'll try to put a link in the bottom here of this too, so people are going back and watching. So, but yeah, reach out to Craig. And if you don't find it, hey, reach out to us on Facebook, or, email us or whatever, and we'll point you in the right direction to go if you're interested. And,
they'll point you to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but Craig, I appreciate it, man. You have a good night, and we'll talk to you later, man. And if I don't talk to you before then, you have a Merry Christmas, and also have a Happy New Year, buddy.
You do the same, man. Talk to you soon.
See you, buddy.
See you.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that show. I did. It was fun just kind of getting here and talking the business side. I know we didn't go into normally we go over, tips and techniques on fishing, but I feel like this is a big deal that we get a lot of questions about all the time, or people want to join our team or want us to sponsor, or, there's a lot more to it than just saying, hey, will you sponsor me? This is what I fish. So I wanted to go over that with Craig tonight and just kind of get all y'all's opinion on what y'all think as well. And some questions that we could answer. And I had a great time with everybody. And I appreciate y'all commenting and liking it. And if you haven't liked our show yet, please hit the like button, hit the share button. Also, if you haven't yet, me and James started a whole nother channel, One Objective Outdoors. This is where all our fishing content's going to be. Hunting, well, I say hunting, but we haven't filmed no hunting stuff. We shoot some gun stuff. I haven't quite mastered the filming and vlogging of hunting trips, but please go on there and hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of good content's going to be coming out. We've been doing a lot more, and it's growing out. Really, we're close to 1,000 subscribers. I think we was at 669 subscribers or something like that. So I love to hit that 1,000. I know it ain't going to happen before the end of this year. It'd be nice if it would. I mean, that would be pretty cool. But I would love to have it at 1,000 before maybe spring. So, but if you can, go on there and share it with your friends. Say, hey, go check this out. Subscribe. We got some really great content. I enjoy doing the One Objective Outdoor side. The One Objective Bass Fishing, you haven't subscribed there, make sure you check that out, because that's where we're still going to be doing our install videos. That's where we're going to be doing, like we just did the PWR 129. That was a really fun build. We got a lot of accessories out for that kayak now. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go to oneobjectivebf.com and make sure you just check out. I mean, we got everything. We got anything and everything you can think of for the PWR right now. It's a phenomenal boat, and I think it's going to be a great boat to rig out. They give you lots of opportunity for that. And it's going to be a great kayak to motorize. But we also got Hobies and Natives and New Canoe and all that stuff, Jackson. So make sure you go in there and check all that out. See what all we got to offer. We do more than just our stuff. We got Yak Attack and Rogue and all kinds of different products. Tackle. We got tackle on there as well too. So, but other than that, guys, if you are on iTunes, listen, please go down and hit the review button. Give us a good little review if you like the show. And also, like I say, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And then also just share it with your friends, guys. So we'll talk to you later. We're going to try to do another show on Sundays, what I'm hoping. So my internet's working. Everything worked fine tonight, it seemed like. So I'm going to go back and watch, make sure there wasn't no glitches, make sure the audio is good. If you liked it, please come back and join us again on Sunday. So other than that, we'll talk to you later, guys. See you.